The problem, I think, is not death. It is the death of the people we love, of our loved ones. At some point, this makes us feel mutilated. The tear, the pain, the sudden emptiness disorient us. We no longer know how to react. We feel helpless, defeated, betrayed, outraged. How many times has all this made our life die within us, extinguished our faith, made us angry against an evil, even more against an unjust God who had abandoned us? How many times has this pain made us turn away from God as if it had killed a part of us, leaving inside us a lump of hatred, resentment, anger, a desire to shut down? We may feel abandoned by God, like Jesus on the cross. My God, why have you forsaken me? And we often return to that puzzling but radical question: where was God during Jesus' passion? This God who seemed so close to him and whom he intimately called Abba, Father. This God who had called him his beloved son at his baptism and at the transfiguration. This God for whom Jesus had risked and consumed his whole life. Where was he during his passion? The question of God's presence during Jesus' passion is a mystery that has fascinated theologians and believers for centuries. Some see in this question an expression of Jesus' full humanity, sharing deeply in human frailty and the experience of being abandoned. In this sense, the apparent absence of God during the Passion could be seen as an integral part of human salvation, as Jesus enters fully into our human experience, including the sense of being abandoned by God. For others, it's a moment of mystery in which God's presence and work are hidden from human eyes but not less real. In this sense, the passion of Jesus is seen as the highest act of love and sacrifice in which God stands in solidarity with humanity to the ultimate consequences, even if this is not always understood or recognized by man. Finally, for many, the answer lies in faith. Despite appearances, God is present in Jesus' passion, offering hope and salvation beyond earthly suffering. See, there are disturbing questions that are not easy, in fact, extremely difficult to answer. And we must be honest. If we had been there at the dramatic moment under the cross, whom would we have chosen among those who mocked Jesus at the foot of the cross, saying, "He saved others, he cannot save himself"? Christ, the King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe. And the centurion, the Roman centurion, who seeing him thus crucified, said, "Truly, this man was the Son of God." In the light of Christ's passion and death, this question takes on an even deeper meaning. The scene at the foot of the cross confronts us with two radically different attitudes. On the one hand, the mockery and challenge to Jesus to demonstrate his power by saving himself from the cross. On the other, the recognition of Jesus' divinity. These two attitudes represent two opposing views of suffering and death. On the one hand, there is the temptation to deny the meaning of suffering, to refuse to see beyond pain and death, to demand a tangible sign of power. On the other hand, there is the recognition that even in suffering and death, divinity can be manifested, that true power lies in the ability to love to the end. The question that Dostoevsky, a Russian novelist, short story writer, puts to Prince Myskin by the atheist Hippolyte in his novel The Idiot has entered my heart more and more. Is it true, Prince, that you once declared that beauty would save the world? What beauty will save the world? The prince does not give an answer to this question. It almost seems that the prince's silence means that the beauty that will save the world is the love that shares the pain. Thus, God's silence in the face of Jesus' prayer on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me?" can certainly be interpreted as an invitation to look to the cross of Christ as the answer. It is there in the seemingly meaningless suffering of a crucified man that the greatest beauty is revealed, the love that gives itself completely, even to death, for the salvation of all. As Christ's passion and death teaches, this love that shares pain and embraces suffering is the true beauty that can save the world. We look to the cross of Christ to be challenged by his final cry, a cry that challenges us to question our priorities, our choices, and our actions. It is a cry that calls us to rethink the meaning of suffering and death, to look beyond the suffering, the surface of things, to the deeper truth of life and faith. Let us pray intensely that the centurion's response will recharge our willingness to follow the Lord, even when his ways bring us not a consensus but abandonment. May this response strengthen our ability to pray with him. Father, not what I will, but what you will.